Family Leonardo, me Nasila did on multimedia, the CEO voice of Salon. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring for the latest news what they happen around Salon, whether it be politics or any other news them what they happen or gossip what they bring out to una live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You wanna touch the bell icon so that you no miss any video we will try for bring out to una. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salon or also the on Instagram Voice of Salon, please family. And don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now. Tata.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, comrades all both home and the diaspora. This is the golden voice of the APC Encyclopedia, the Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all both home and the diaspora, as you know, say the encyclopedia media always they continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness to the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone on daily happenings and on burning issues Mama Salon under civic education. So when I stay tuned, when I stay fixed, when I stay blessed, when I stay connected to the encyclopedia media, for now listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. Assalamu alaikum ya jamati wal muslimina wal muslimat Juma Mubarak to we Christian brothers and sisters. Shalom. Today now Friday the 2nd of May 2025. We get three topics then today we will deliberate on. Topic number one, executive captured and regime policing. Topic number two, the stubborn fly follows the corpse to the grave. And topic number three, he will laugh last, laugh best, fellow Sierra Leoneans. So now stay tuned and stay fixed to the encyclopedia media. If we see 2-3 days we not pull audio, we know say we they embark on investigation for no go give confirmed news to we people then to we listeners then both home and the diaspora. Topic number one, executive capture and regime policing. When a dangerous political tool for opponent elimination, for undermine democracy and democratic backsliding and also democratic destruction na Mama Salon. Now we first know what in executive capture. Executive capture generally refer to a situation wherein the executive often, the one the way they in governance or in governance, they influence organization, they exert undue influence over decision-making processes, potentially at the expense of the public interest or the intended purpose of an institution. This they manifest in various ways, including manipulating policy system, manipulating regulations them, or even scientific decisions them for benefits their own agenda, executive interference in the police, the judiciary, the parliament, and all state government institutions them, including non-governmental institutions them. Institutional capture, bureaucratic capture, corporate capture, regulatory capture, and capture activities, all we get for deliberate on today. Influence on science, organizational capture, elite capture. In essence, executive capture, they undermine the principles of transparency, accountability, and the public interest in decision-making processes where they lead to a policy system where go they against the interest of the citizens, the interest of the public, where they erode trust in government and other organizations there. We get what we call regulatory capture also. Then call an agency capture when a form of corruption, fellow Sierra Leoneans, where they capture in a form of corruption, authorities then they occur when a political entity, policymakers or regulators then co-opted for serve the commercial, ideological, and practical interests of minor constituency, short as a particular geographical area, industry, profession, or a political group, wherein discrimination, regionalism, tribalism, nepotism, cronyism, favoritism, and political antagonism they occur. Capture management also na a plan wey be say for capture planning, for capture the process of gathering insights then, building connection, developing competitive intelligence, and strategizing how for win a feature request for proposal when are the RFP opportunity. A capture plan they give the executive for continue for loot elections, for loot state resources, for undermine democracy, for impoverish and enslave the citizen for personal aggrandizement and self-egoism. Capture in English means for take someone or for take somebody as a prisoner, or for take something into possession, or for seize, for possess illegally, or for control by force, duress, or coercion. The original definition of state capture, they refer to the way formal procedures then, short as laws and social norms then, and government bureaucratic things then they manipulate them by government officials, state-backed companies them, private companies then, so that for influence state policies, laws, wealth in their own favor, and also capture activities. We listeners think you want to know what in a capture activities. Capture activities they identify as service system where they potentially attractive to criminals as a means of money laundering, ammunition and drug trafficking, or financial criminal activities. Activities that will trigger compliance obligation known as captured activities. The word capture in English means for take into one in possession or control by force or stratagem, or for seize. The opposite of capture, now liberate. Executive capture, a very dangerous fellow Sierra Leoneans. If ruling MP stand and the main opposition MP stand, then they act merely as an extension of the executive, then parliament becomes a rubber stamp. Regime policing, now a contrast to democratic policing, where they describe a system wherein law enforcement they prioritize for protect the ruling rather than the citizenry. They often operate outside the law. They separate dissent then and detach from the community state where they serve. Instead of protecting the people, then they control the people and they use them as a tool for perpetuate violence just for maintain the regime in power, ladies and gentlemen. When regime policing, regime policing, they protect the regime, not the people. Regime policing, they primarily focus on maintaining the power of the ruling authority rather than for uphold the rights and the interests of citizens. Then they operate outside the law. Regime policing, they use tactics where illegal or unethical for suppress opposition and control the population instead of protecting the lives and properties of the citizenry. Then they become misused, abused, and manipulated as political puppets against dissent, opposing views, and the citizens. No wonder why Mr. Babadi, a fearless civil society activist, he described the Inspector General of Police as incompetent and unprofessional. Now, again, another invitation by the same Sierra Leone Mende Police, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Samura Kamara, when a deceptive, politically catapulted allegation of cyber crime fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. Where it clear, say, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, the power party forcefully enact the cybercrime law for go after opposition dissent and for destroy the democracy. But forgetting about the 1965 criminal and seditious libel law enacted by the same political party by Albert Magai, where Sheikh Stephen implemented to the fullest against them, fellow Sierra Leoneans, will be one send them to everlasting oblivion. Ladies and gentlemen, the cybercrime will be used and implemented to the fullest against the pauper. Ladies and gentlemen, as a political tool, we be seen as the crafter. Ladies and gentlemen, any truth today, when they speak to power, it will be related to cybercrime, vis-a-vis, cyber stalking and bullying, draconian laws. Ladies and gentlemen, what they enjoy today in power go be the same draconian laws wey go topple and devastate the existence of na political party tomorrow in the future, because the evil wey they enjoy today, because you stand for benefit from that evil day, they nurture your future trouble. No way for deny it, because you enacted it for the benefit of Sierra Leoneans. You for come with law where they suit the convenience of the people, but when they come with laws then where they trap the citizens, where they which on the citizens, where they which on political heavyweight, just for let when I undermine democracy, ladies and gentlemen, when I the user as a tool for political witch hunting. Regime policing they suppress dissent. Regime policing always the target and repress individuals or group when they criticize or challenge the ruling regime. Today, the civil society organizations and their silence, the interreligious council then silence, all stakeholders na salon then silence, the Israeli Association of Journalists they are silence, the Bar Association then silence, the Human Rights Commission then silence, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion then silence, the Amnesty International then silence, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights then silence, the National Commission for Democracy then silence, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights then silence. When I remember, say, what is source for the goose can also be source for the gander. The wrongs of today go be corrected today and not tomorrow. When I remember the golden rule that do unto them what you will have them do unto you. This is now the law of the prophets, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean, the law and the prophet. So, fellow Sierra Leonean, ladies and gentlemen, comrades, all both home and the diaspora, regime policing, they detach from community. What does this mean? Regime policing go be militarized, segregated from the civilian population and perceived as a force of occupation rather than a community partner. Police, reg- uh, uh, regime policing, ladies and gentlemen, or police them for learn from history, ladies and gentlemen, how we don't see the moments alone, how they pursue them during the AFRC days, how they pursue at them. When people in the pull uniform, then they run away, them for learn from history. The police are not politicians. They are professionals. Therefore, the police force for be apolitical, meaning they are not politicians. Regime policing, they prioritize control over protection. The focus of regime policing now for maintain order through control and repression. That now orders from the above, rather than on promoting safety and justice. Then they use violence. Regime policing, they resort to violence, intimidation, arbitrary arrest, extrajudicial killing, strategic ethnic cleansing, police brutality, mob justice, unlawful incarceration, unlawful torture, just for maintaining control and silence opposition in the best interest and in favor of the ruling governments. Ladies and gentlemen, this, ladies and gentlemen, Now, why the state security apparatus of this country, civilians, they not get trust in them again, ladies and gentlemen, because then they work on the authorities and the commands of their young political godfather we appointed in position. Today, the state security apparatus, they don't politicize them, they don't tribalize them, they don't regionalize them, they don't manipulate them, they don't remote them. Ladies and gentlemen, this now we call executive capture. Ladies and gentlemen, now would I appoint the Inspector General of Police? Now the current illegitimate leader. Ladies and gentlemen, you see selective justice. Kone, we rig the elections of the people of Sierra Leone. Kone, we put this hardship on the public of Sierra Leone instead of the police for invite Kone, we incite political unrest and political instability, incite war in Mama Salone. He was not invited because it is the rogue system, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. Call Kone published the disaggregated data result by the 11,832 police station for let the people of Sierra Leone go know the rightful winner of the June 24, 2023 election to no avail. The international community don't talk to no avail, fellow Sierra Leoneans. So this not just a summary of executive capture and regime policing where they happen today. Now we can't give in Mama Salone. We go to a second topic. When an Igbo proverb, we say a stubborn fly follows the corpse to the grave. Ladies and gentlemen, in Igbo, they say Ijiji, enti ike na isio, ozu ala nili. A stubborn fly follows the corpse to the grave, while the metaphorical meaning of nuisance derived from the buzzing sound of the fly. In Igala proverb, then tell we say, Alichi Kima, Bolan, Onwa, Lebewu, Lotefura, the stubborn fly follows the corpse to the grave. In French, La mouche obstinée chute le cadavre jusqu'à la tombe. The Yoruba proverb, Igbati Igoji, Agbe ina ogun agbagba titi agba bi elo. If you are stubborn, you will follow the dead into the grave. The consequence of refusing to listen to advice, na calamity, na destruction, na jeopardy. In Temne, antut aperper matanta kabel, atbene koya kabelang dobomang, antut akanapi, mabalbal kabel. Ladies and gentlemen, hankakaboma, atbaparaneko yakabelang. Philip Fidelis, the stubborn fly, they follow the corpse to the grave because he not get an advisor. In Latin, they say what thing? Flies obdura corpus ad sepulcrem secuntur. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora. In German, des zur Pflege folge den Leichnam is grab. In Portuguese, a musca temosa segui o morto para o timulo. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leone, o musca in Portuguese, not a fly. Temosa in Portuguese, not stubborn. Segue in Portuguese, not follows. O morto in Portuguese, not the corpse. Para o tumolo, not the grave in Portuguese. In Spanish, la mosca obstinada sigue al cadáver hasta la tumba, meaning the one where they stubbornly ignore advice or warning. Often they end up in bad situation, sometimes with fatal consequences. That stubborn fly, where they fall, they dead body, take inside the grave, then go cover them with the grave. This is not the Kiro adage, meaning tranga is not good. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora, the stubborn fly follows the corpse to the grave. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the fifth assassination plot against Dr. Samura Kamara after the Bow School Old Boys Association Oba meeting. The SLP called leadership, the APC called leadership, and former President KOROMA plan for get rid of Dr. Samura Kamara. They no say again forgive the 64-year independence speech, ladies and gentlemen, fellow LEONEANS. But the Creole added say, if he owes not sell you bad, treats not go buy you bad. But what God cannot do does not exist. Ce que Dieu ne peut pas faire n'existe pas. All them plans then they fail. Instead of BO for making 64 independent anniversary speech for congratulate the president-elect winner Dr. Matthew Wilson Kamara and talk about the smooth and peaceful transition in neglect. Ladies and gentlemen, this murderous group decide for take a plan B as a PhD in coup d'etat, but no evil weapon fashioned against the president-elect shall prosper. The 11 years rebel war was caused by the police and the judiciary of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, both home and the diaspora, them people here don't try in so many circumstances for put Sierra Leone to war. Ladies and gentlemen, and currently the power leader prefer Sierra Leone for go to war than for hand over power peacefully. On June 24, 2023 elections, Kone thief the vote of Sierra Leonean citizens and began to power Bio, inciting Sierra Leone into political unrest and political instability. But Dr. Samura Kamara took a peaceful approach for prevent war in the Republic of Sierra Leone. Because he know waiting war mean, and he know where the international body send on a salon, waiting happen at Mama Salon. So he choose dialogue because he knows say we get 11 years rebel war in Sierra Leone, we say and a table with dialogue. So therefore, before any other life they go, he choose dialogue upon all accounts for prevent unrest and political instability. Now the hand-picked incompetent power permanent Southeast SLPP Inspector General of Police, when William Fire Cello, ladies and gentlemen, it now ignites another civil unrest in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, just after writing an invitation letter, the time when I put for the man in not reach it, when I take police, military personnel, well armed, and Kamajo thugs, for go deploy them. Now the man in two houses, they all, ladies and gentlemen. This time, ladies and gentlemen, the SLP Power Inspector General of Police sent troops of Power Kamajo militia for barricade the two houses of the president-elect Dr. Samura Kamara, where they well armed. This tell you say, this is not an ordinary invitation, but now for kidnap and assassinate the president-elect. The letter would then write to the United States Embassy by the APC sell out executive was turned down. So this don't one of them, they don't find out, say, they don't lost the battle. So what did they do? Then conspire with the police, a plan B, thinking that the best option now for hijack illegitimacy, now for get rid of the president-elect, we now Dr. Samura Kamara. Bio and Fire Cello, they failed for settle the anger issue. We don't subject them people then today to slavery. Ladies and gentlemen, always important for them now for get rid of the president-elect winner Dr. Samura Kamara. The people they sit down complacently while the power men, the southeasterners, they run after their brother for get rid of her. While the SLPP power upon all the killing, the massacre, the economic hardship, the hunger, the starvation, the poverty, the bad governance, the endemic and systemic corruption, now the country, the killings, where the Mende Southeasterner, Mende Shabro warlord they do, They are straight protecting him as their brother, ladies and gentlemen. But we are not surprised. This happened to Prophet Joseph. How in family then gang up to that for kill him, for let him plan, not carry on. But waiting God don't mark, nothing no go poila. Ladies and gentlemen, they also miss another Northwesterner, we na Paulo Conte, we na Elimba by tribe. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, one great man then put a treason case banner, a coup against them. If not to the intervention of the late Dr. Abdullah Usman Conte, if it don't be a dead man by now. So this could be a clarion call to the Limbas and the Timners for pay attention. Because when two brothers fight to death, a stranger inherits their property. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades of both home and the diaspora, this is more than political. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a political instability again, but an incitement to a tribal war, a tribal unrest. Because Dr. Samura Kamara belong to the Temine dominant tribe, the most populated tribe in the Republic of Sierra Leone. So they call on the ECOWAS, the African Union, the European Union, the United States, the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth, ladies and gentlemen. There are them people them where they sign document, they plan say they don't agree for national unity. They don't respect international agreement. They don't respect international treaties, covenants, pacts, and protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, we not sit by and watch. Then people are plunged Sierra Leone into another political instability. All the signatures, where Paupa Bill don't sign for say they hand over power peacefully, where commodity they get a plan B for cause more problem and mayhem in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the people that we voted for Dr. Samura Kamara Kamara no go sit by and allow this illegitimate regime where they ride the people of Sierra Leone on the stolen mandate for intimidate or for crush the elected president. Ladies and gentlemen, now the people of Sierra Leone, they suffer from hunger, starvation, poverty, political slavery, and exploitation. Ladies and gentlemen, they no want to become refugees again in a foreign land. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean, them people have no regard or get respect for diplomacy. All the state security apparatus, then they against the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We mean say, if the real definition of democracy, that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, then the people of Sierra Leone need to be protected. The people of Sierra Leone's their lives then they in danger through executive capture. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, and delay is dangerous. You better act now before it is too late. Ladies and gentlemen, the autocratia, then they play with a bonfu for by time, ladies and gentlemen. And they one day, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, we come together and recommend the tripartite and affix all the signatures. Then they undermine all waiting they don't sign, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. And then come with this tripartite committee for let all parties then come together for form what we call an agreement for national unity. But ladies and gentlemen, the one day we don't sign, now the tripartite, we don't sign and the agreement for national unity, they want for cause problem for escape accountability. So the only way we then see now for carry it unrest in the country. The ECSL boss, the Inspector General of Police, the ONS boss, all the one them will be conspire for rig the June 24, 2023 election, where they recommend Pani divergence issues for let them resign. Today, themselves don't join the wagon for fight to the last drop of their blood for escape accountability. And justice delayed is justice denied. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the topic proper about the stubborn flies follows the corpse to the grave. A fly who does not listen to advice will follow the corpse to the grave. This they convey the idea for ignore good advice or guidance, where they lead to bad outcome or difficult situation, potentially even a tragic one. The fly they symbolize somebody we unwilling for listen or for reason or for take to advice. And the corpse represent the inevitable consequences of the stubbornness. In this proverb, the fly is a metaphor for somebody where resistant to advice or guidance, where they refuse for land from others they experience. There is a reason why they sent the former president of Ghana, when John Kufuor Addo, for advice the pauper Southeast Mende Shabre warlord for CC na him in governance so but don't hand over power peacefully to the main opposition because the people of Ghana don't speak. But we come, then dodge, then left the man. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, George for can tell the pauper Mende Southeast Shabre warlord say you cannot fight against democracy, but he dodge and spend over 500,000 United States dollar. When I with Sierra Leone taxpayers' money, he hire a special flight for going to the Vatican just for go witness the burial of the Pope, where they not invite and they. Ladies and gentlemen, neglect for do the needful on the 64th independent anniversary as agreed where you don't sign to the ECOWAS and the international community. Say he go congratulate Dr. Samura Kamara and tell the people of Sierra Leone say he lost the June 24, 2023 election, but he failed for do so, ladies and gentlemen. So waiting at the agenda now for invite the Pauper police for get rid of Dr. Samura Kamara, the president-elect, for come with chaos in the country, just like how they carried the 28th November coup for make sure say then destroyed the tripartite committee. Ladies and gentlemen, and all that in the year, the power Mende shout East Shabre warlord, they pretend say aware, failing for no say, na he appoint the pauper Mende Southeast Inspector General of Police when I William Fire Cello. Ladies and gentlemen. And the pauper Mende shout East Shabre warlord failed for no say. Currently, na in the commander-in-chief of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. So he not go do away anything without your command. And Fire Cello not they extend any invitation unknown to you, way not to power from the above. The corpse here represent the negative consequences of the unfortunate fate, where they result from ignoring advice or for make bad decision. The fly they follow the corpse meaning he inevitably caught in the same predicament or faced with the same unfortunate outcomes as the dead. The graveyard, the grave they symbolize the finality of the consequences and the difficulty or impossibility of reversing the situation. So this situation is irreversible. Now a stark warning to people there where get stubbornness, where they lead to a situation for which there is no easy escape. In essence, the proverb they serve as a cautionary tale where they highlight the importance of being open to advice and for make wise decisions, especially when it comes to matters of significant importance. There is a signed agreement called the Agreement for National Unity. We born out the tripartite committee when a three-way leadership wherein both the SLPP, the APC, and we international moral guarantors, they all get representative for examine the June 24, 2023 electoral cycle and forget a preview on previous elections from 2018, 2012, and 2007. We all the parties they agree and affix the signatures, and they all agree say the recommendation where they come up from the tripartite committee shall be actionable and implementable. This is the reason why the tripartite committee get international judges for head the tripartite secretariat. They know say na illegal matter where they deal with international law because the agreement na illegal international binding now, ladies and gentlemen, because elections issues na legal matters. So if they're not going to court, they set a tripartite committee. If forget judges then the same as then they preside over petition cases then at the court. First, na the former Kenyan judge, when Mbogolo Zagba, later the Australian judge, when Kate Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen, we then Canada the tripartite, the power panel reject the 70.2% RF forms there, where Dr. Samura Kamara present, where perused by the international elections expert, where give Dr. Samura Kamara a meaning of 56.15%. The SLP not produce no evidence. They say they rely on the result where ECSL call and then call ECSL for so many times for published disaggregated data result of 11,832 polling stations. Then say election result now classified documents. That was the reason why they invite Vali Conte, when I've been former chief electoral commissioner, he said there is nothing secret about election. That's why they invite the former chief electoral commissioner, when Dr. Christina Top, they all say there is nothing secret about election. Only within secret, not the secret ballot. Ladies and gentlemen. So, fellow Sierra Leoneans, where there is justice, the police for don't invite the ECSL boss for questioning. Because if you see today Sierra Leone Day in this situation, it is caused by the police boss, ladies and gentlemen. When it is caused by the ECSL boss, when Mohammed Humamui Ayampi Kone, now cause all this destruction, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. But the police fail for invite without them for invite. All the problem will happen today, all the standstill where the country day, all the international funding will stop for camp, now the way and manner where Mohammed Kone loot the election for deny the will of the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. So without for invite, we not invite them. When Mohammed Humami Kone, ladies and gentlemen, and the problem at hand, whether for don't stand, when they hit the people in Nayenga, they know the do one. All which then concern, now for fight, for restore the illegitimacy, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. Then now we other topic. We other topic, now a well-known expression, we say, he who laughs last laughs best, meaning the winner, ladies and gentlemen, is always ahead at the end of the game. This proverb is being traced from John Haywood in 1546 in Book of Proverbs, the second collection we edited on the subject. Mainly variation exists, including a last laugh is the best laugh. He who laughs last, laughs longest. He who weeps least, weeps best, and so on. The Proverbs, when in shortened form, both refer to a situation wherein people where they initially laugh, where they ridicule somebody for being foolish or misguided or naive, but at the end, the person go be vindicated or prove for be correct or end up in a position of advantage rather than disadvantage. Ladies and gentlemen, now when they laugh, taking that when I don't win the battle, but the truth, the end go prevail. This proverb they emphasize the person where they in control of his situation at the end. is the most successful, even if other people they seem originally forget an advantage, success, and achievement. When somebody gets the laugh last, for succeed at something after being doubted or scorned, now forget the laugh last. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leone and comrades all. Ladies, example, after humiliating loss in the first game of the World Series, your favorite baseball team gets the last laugh when they swept the next 4 games there and won the series. So would that laugh last? They laugh best, ladies and gentlemen. And whether they laugh last, they laugh the longest, the hardest, the loudest in English saying, then the user in a situation wherein certain people where seem for hold an advantage at a given point or seem for get things they under control. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day or at the end, they lose the battle. The person will get the final, the decisive move or victory in a feud, in a quarrel, or in a competition. Ladies and gentlemen, now in the truly successful people. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leone and comrades, all waiting they happen at the Republic of Sierra Leone. When arrest assure Dr. Samura Kamara, God, Naina security, Krokro, no go cratcha. All this, then they try for divert the attention of Sierra Leonean citizens there, for caused panic in the country, for caused rancor in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot judge a book by its cover. Better late than never. Honesty na the best policy. Many hands they make light work. Strike while the iron is hot. If you say you get the laugh last, you mean say you don't become successful at things that where people they may they criticize or oppose, then they look you as foolish. But at the end of the day, you are the victor. Most of the 2028 visits there and the enemies of the APC, the enemies of democracy, the enemies of Sierra Leone by extension, ladies and gentlemen, they therefore put their heads there in the cloud. Having your head in the cloud, what this mean? This, ladies and gentlemen, you go criticize people then because then they ignore for a year on the problem we associated with a situation. Informal disapproval. A man is known by the companies he keeps, or character is reflected in our choice of friends. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean companies all, character they reveal when pressure is applied. What does this mean? Somebody in true nature and values they emerge when they face challenges or difficult situations. The greater the pressure, the more clearly a person's character is displayed. How somebody they respond to adversity, they reveal their true self, their true colors, where they demonstrate their strength and weaknesses. Pressure a test. Pressure will be seen as a test of character, where they reveal how somebody they behave under stressful circumstances. True character in different situations, trying times, a person underlying value or personality traits, they're more likely for surface than in comfortable or easy circumstances. For know if you honest or you dishonest or you a rascal or you loyal, you trustworthy, you untrustworthy, you duplicitous, you not betrayal, you lack integrity, you luciferous. Now when trying times come, or now when pressure they arise. For embracing challenges, ladies and gentlemen, now for use opportunities then for growth, where they lead to deeper understanding of somebody in yourself. And the most memorable quote from Robert M. Key story, ladies and gentlemen, now in this, when an integral part of a strong storytelling, according to Aristotle, plot na a character wey dey reveal by action And true character, they reveal in the choice of a human being, where they make under pressure. The greater the pressure, the deeper the revelation. And the true choice. Now, the June 24, 2023 stolen elections, we don't reveal the true colors of a politician's day. Now, Mama Salone, where they celebrate stolen election, the one day where they fight for become flag bearers and president by force, the one day we don't betray the people there, the one day we don't undermine the tripartite for their own selfish presidential ambition, the one day where they hate leaders there, where they indict for massive corruption, money laundering, and Hajj scandal. The one they were loyal to politicians, than the party, than the country, all of them don't show their true colors today than the Republic of Sierra Leone. This is the most advantage of Pauper Bio for come in governance, for can expose bad politicians, bad civil societies, bad journalists, them, bad interreligious council, and bad stakeholders then in the society. Courage and grace under pressure. Don't worry about the pressure of the responsibility when the lights are brightest. Pressure is highest. Crowds are the loudest. The best will arrive. The strongest will survive. The greatest will thrive. Crisis, they reveal character, according to James Lynn Allen, a 19th century novelist. Say adversity does not build character, it reveals it. The way a leader they behave and they act during a crisis go uncover their ability. Ladies and gentlemen, for lead. A man is known by the company he keeps. Somebody in character and in moral standing is revealed by the type of friends and associates them where they choose. This they imply say an individual they often be judged based on the behavior and the values of the one them when they spend time with. Sell out with sell out, corrupt people with corrupt people, thieves with thieves, dishonest people with dishonest people, people with integrity with people with integrity. Influence of association. The person in character will be mirrored in the company wherein they keep. This they highlight the influence of association or social interaction and individual then behavior, ladies and gentlemen. People then go subtly influenced by the habit and the attitude and the values of the one day where they around them. Moral standing. They probably suggest that the quality of somebody in company, it could be a gauge of a moral standing, good company and good company, bad company with bad company. So we see how the bad politicians, they all don't gang up Nama Saloon for destroy we peace and for destroy we art and democracy. The contextual interpretation, while the proverb, then they use in a judgment context, where they also be seen as a reminder for choose the companion they wisely where they use, the company where they keep, and the significant impact on your own value, your beliefs, and your behavior. Man is known by the company he keeps. This is a famous proverb where means say you go be influenced by the environment in which you live and the people then where they consistently interact in terms of attitude, behavior, linguistic expression, habit, interest, likes, and dislikes. While Aesop say, judge a man by the company he keeps. A man is known by the company he keeps. Character na a reflection of his choice of friend. This they suggest say the individual where we they choose for be friend, they reveal a lot about we own values, about we own personality and priority by understanding the type of people then where we they gravitate towards. We go gain insight into their own character, ladies and gentlemen, fellows, Sierra and comrades all. We get what we call shared values, where they tend to befriend people there, where they share similar values, interests, and goals. As then share values they are, They foster strong connection and support. We get what we call personality traits, the kind of person where they draw close to, they mirror your own personality trait. If you compromise with a killer, you yourself go be termed as a killer. If you compromise with somebody where they commit electoral coup, you yourself go be referred to an electoral coupist. Influence the people then we dey surround we self go exert a significant influence on your thought, your actions, and your behavior, where potentially they shape your character over time. The priorities we choose them in friends go also reveal we priorities them, short as whether we value intellectual curiosity, adventures, or social connection. In essence of we friends them, it is serve as a mirror where they reflect we own personalities, we values, and the type of people them where they aspire for be with. And they say honesty is the best policy. This is a proverb where they tell the truth, and being truthful and generally the most effective way for conduct oneself that for build strong relationship with truthfulness, being honest even when you dig into difficult circumstances. It will lead to better long-term outcome and stronger trust than lying. Truthfulness, now for speak the truth, you avoid lies and be sincere. You for build trust. Building trust meaning honesty, build trust with others as people then. Ladies and gentlemen, go rely on your word for strengthening relationship, for maintain a good reputation, peace of mind, personal integrity, self-trust, self-awareness, moral and ethical comportment. Ladies and gentlemen, all this they come out from trust. Ladies and gentlemen, honesty is the best policy. He attributed by Benjamin Franklin, one of the most famous person associated with the phrase. Ladies and gentlemen, we inspire people there for be honest. According to Ra, honesty means telling the truth and being trustworthy. The proverb, honesty is the best policy, they teach with the importance of being truthful as it builds trust and respect in our personal and professional lives. A honest person will be admired and relied upon by others, forming strong and meaningful relationship. The father of honesty, when the founder of honesty, ladies and gentlemen, na Jessica Alba. Honesty, they promote what we call authenticity. Honesty, they reflect somebody's own feeling and thought. Honesty, certainly, they help people there for know whether they really be. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Benjamin Franklin, then born in January 1706 to a modest family in Boston, in Massachusetts, where he celebrates or they celebrate as the founding father of the United States, including civil, civic, scientific, and cultural projects there, will alter the course of American history. What did the Bible say about honesty? In Leviticus 19, verse 11, you shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. You shall not steal. So stealing is haram. Stealing they cause problem. This stealing of election might not cause this problem here today. People then they come out and they go now the Vatican. They say they go see the Pope, but waiting there at the Bible, they know the follower. According to Leviticus 19, verse 11, you shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. Ephesians 4, verse 25, therefore, each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully, for we are all members of one body. Proverb 11, verse 3, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Honesty simply means being truthful what you say and what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, speaking honesty, acting honesty, and being truthful. The moral of honesty, being honest, they help you for become a trustworthy person. Avoid making exaggeration, change or add details wey no dey happen. Waiting at the motto of honesty. Honesty is more than just lying. Now, truth telling, truth speaking, truth living, and truth, ladies and gentlemen, loving. One lie, they ruin 1,000 truths, ladies and gentlemen. One lie ruins 1,000 truths. The key of honesty. Honesty, they cut through deception and knives it away through deceit and lie. Honesty, they lead to a fulfilling true life. Honesty, not just about telling the truth, it's about being real with yourself and others then about who that you be. Ladies and gentlemen, what you want and what you need and what you live for most, if for be authentic life. Benjamin Franklin, one of the father of civic, a civic scientist in the United States of America, he acknowledged the complexity of cross-cultural, diverse, and anticipatory interaction. Why honesty is so powerful? Honesty so powerful, it promotes personal growth. Honesty, they help we for take responsibility over our lives and empower others for make positive changes. It allow we for be true to who we be. Proverbs 19 verse 9 or Proverbs 11 verse 9 say, a false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will perish. What did Abraham Lincoln say about honesty when at the 16th president of United States of America from 1861 to 1865? He said, voting, resolve to be honest at all events, and in your own judgment, you cannot be a honest lawyer. Resolve to be honest without being a lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, this and Lincoln, the honest, happy, we stuck him throughout in legal and in political career in the United States of America. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra and comrades all, both home and the diaspora, that stubborn fly, now in the falla, the corpse stay to the grave. When an Igbo parable, ejiji inti ike, na osu ozila na nili. In Igala proverb, they say achichi kima, bolang, onwa, legbewu lotifura. In Yoruba proverb, igbe ti oji, agbe enia, ogun agbagba, titi agba belo. In Temne, antot mabalbal kabeli, ototontako hang agbapraneko roboma. Ladies and gentlemen, why Philip Fidelis say the stubborn fly they follow the corpse to the grave because he not get an advisor. In Latin, one the Latin language, they say flies obdura corpus ad sepulchrum secuntur. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, in German, der Stockflagel folgt den Lichtnamen is grab. In Portuguese, a mosca temosa segui o morto para o timulo. A mosco na the fly, temosa na stubborn, segui follows o morto na the corpse para o tumolo to the grave. In Spanish, la mosco obstinada sigue al cadáver hasta la tumba. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans. So the stubborn fly, now in the falla, the dead body, take them cover inside the grave. So the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, when arrest, I shall say, the president-elect, they don't miss am for attempted assassination. This they make 5. Waiting God on mark, nothing no go stop am. God say, touch not my anointed. So Dr. Samura Kamara, God, na in insecurity, when arrest assure say, now, then people I don't give way for let a speedy transition come.